I guess it means different things to different people. I mean, if you want to go into politics, it's kind of the sin of your life, and it's what you spend all your time thinking about, and it's how you earn money, and it's really how you kind of define yourself. That's not the case for the vast majority of people. Leading a political life doesn't necessarily mean working on a campaign or running for office or going to rallies or anything. It can be something as mundane as reading the newspaper, as keeping up on current events, knowing issues, and being able and willing to talk about it.
It means knowing that our society and our world needs more than your vote and your taxes. It means that it needs your constant attention, and it needs your action when you see that things are going wrong. I think that as one Holocaust survivor has told me in the past, and I think this really holds true for almost any situation, leading a political life means that when you see something that you think is incorrect, that you think is wrong, that you think is immoral, it means speaking up and taking action.
I think it means a lot of different things to lead a political life. I think it ranges from anywhere between voting to being a member of a local Democratic club. I think there's about 50 in New York City. To being involved in a campaign, to just being involved on a campaign on election day, to just canvassing in the morning just because you have time before work. I mean, I think it's about caring.
I read the newspaper every day, and this summer I interned for my congressman, and again, that was something I really wanted to see how the political process worked like that, and so I just called my congressman and I interned. It was such a great way to learn about the inner workings of politics, and really at a really close-up way.
My life is too political. I'm the president of NYU College Democrats, so for the past 3 months I've been trying to get people involved in campaigns and working to take back the House and the Senate, and clearly that's why we did. And I'm a politics major at NYU, so I've taken lots of politics classes. I've been interning since I was 16 in politics, so I've had internships across the board. So, and then I also work for NYU's Office of Government and Community Affairs. So, we do some political stuff in there. It doesn't get very political, but it's related.
Last year I took a few weeks off from school to go on this march from New York City to Washington, D.C. In order to raise awareness and raise money in order to stop the genocide that's going on in Darfur in the western part of Sudan. And I'm also helping to lead a club on campus at New York University that's part of a nationwide student task force working to do just what I said and stop the genocide in Darfur. So.
I try to stay up on my current events and my politics, and I read all the papers, and I've interned for, when I was 14 I interned for a congressman, and then we got redistricted, and the next summer I interned for a different congressman, and I was very young at that time, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, but I think it was a really good learning experience for me, and I got to see the inside of politics, and I got to really learn what it was about, and then I took AP Poli-Sci in my senior year, and I just learned more and more about politics, and I think the main issue that I picked is really children's issues, like children's rights and stuff like that, and that's really what I've been most involved with.
I mean, I think politics is something that affects everyone in every way, even if you don't consider yourself political at all, there's still something that affects you and something that you can kind of latch onto and care about. So I think that it's just really important to always try to pay attention to what's going on, because it does really affect you.
I think it's important because it does affect your life in every single way, and whether it's, whatever happens now is going to affect my generation. What the decisions that my parents' generation are making now I'm going to have to clean up their mistakes if they make mistakes, or I'm going to get the rewards from their good decisions. So every decision you make in politics affects your generation as well as the next couple generations. So I think it's important to realize those all affect us, and that we really to pay attention to what is going on.
I think politics really affects everybody's life and everybody's way of living, because every issue of your life is a political issue, and to care about it and to try to make a difference in that issue is making a difference in your life.
Well, I'm going to make that two things, if that's okay, because they go very hand in hand, and that would be entitlement and apathy. I think that there needs to be new ways to strike at individuals of all socioeconomic levels, of all ages, of all differences. Every individual needs to see, if it's not already obvious to them, needs to see that what the discussions that occur in Washington, D.C., the discussions that occur in capitals all across the world are directly relevant to their personal lives, whether it's financially, morally, in every single way. And so people need to realize that. Second of all, people need to realize that the way that we live now, the way that we're living here in the United States and in many other countries, is frankly unsustainable and will inevitably lead to catastrophic climate change. This is universally agreed upon by scientists all across the world, and that's only one of the negative effects from the wasteful and decadent lifestyles in which we live.
Right as of now, I think I would make all AIDS drugs free. I completely agree.
The use of, especially, I don't know why I'm saying this exactly, but the use of religion to kind of bring people, not bring people together, kind of separate them. The use of God or the divine or absolute truth to hurt people or kill people or oppress people. I think that's going to be a huge problem in that century. I guess it's been a huge problem throughout history, but I think a lot of problems in the world could really be solved if we could just tackle the root of it, which is what people do when they think that they're absolutely right, whenever they forget that human beings have more things in common than they don't. Abraham Lincoln.
Why?
They had a fascinating life, and the more I read about it, the more I'm just amazed at all that he went through. But even more than that, I mean, this is a talk about politics, and Abraham Lincoln, I think more than any other figure in history, really was able to find where politics and morality met, and how to use politics, public issues, and many different people trying to solve problems, how to use that art form to further moral goods.
I would have breakfast with Robert Kennedy, because to me he is my personal hero. I think that he did a lot of good when he was Attorney General, and when he tried to run for president, and I think that he would have brought a lot of change in the world and would have done a lot of social reform. And I would just want to talk to him more about that.
I would have breakfast with Jesus Christ, because although personally I don't see him as my savior, I'd be very interested to discuss with him the consequences of his actions and his lifestyle, and be very interested to see what he would make of today's interpretations of his beliefs and his writings and his preachings.
And I'd also want to have a conversation with Virginia Woolf. Even though she's not a political figure, she created the women's literary genre, and she really, most people consider her, even though she actually seems kind of anti-feminist as far as modern feminism goes, she created the start of women's literature, which is the basis for women's everything. So I think it would be really interesting to sit down and talk to her.
My name is Paulina Harari.
My name is Isaac Rowlett.
My name is Liz Bowman.
Michael Wood.
I'm Nora Toiv.
I'm Katie Platt, and I lead a political